Hi everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome to today's card. So, the crafting community has lost their minds over gnomes. Every single craft company that I can think of has brought out some sort of gnome stamp set, digital images, and I have to admit they're not my favorite, but this image today is so cute. So he's on an action wobble. This is another digital stamp. I believe that the person who designed this also designs for Trinity Stamps. I could be mistaken, but I know Trinity Stamps uses some of their images because I found them in their Etsy shop. So of course that will be linked down below. I've put him on an action wobble. We're doing some Easter paper. This is 100% an Easter card, but look how fun. How fun would this be to put it in an Easter basket for a little one? I think they would have so much fun with this card. So anyway, let's head over to my craft table and I'll show you how we made it. Okay friends, I am starting with the paper. I'm going to do the card base first and then we'll do the image. So this is an Easter card. There's no denying that this is an Easter card. So I used the scallop oval to cut out the Happy Easter paper. And then this is one of my favorite sketches. I had a question in my Ask the Elf series, and I will be doing a video about this, about where I get my card layout, where I find that inspiration, etc. And so that's definitely something that I'll be touching on further down the way, but this is a very basic, a very simple sketch. So you take, this is 4 by 5 1/4, and then or 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then I'm cutting down a piece of paper that is 2 by however tall your card is. So it's either going to be 4 or 4 1/8. And you can do it, you know, when it's on its side like this, when it's a landscape card. You can do it when it's up and down, and you just do, you know, 5 1/4 instead of, you know, 4 1/4. So that's my layout for this card. I wanted the card base to be simple because we're going to be putting this little gnome on an action wobble. And I want the paper, again, to be more of a complement rather than the focal point. So you'll see the colors on the left. That's actually from when I colored the bunny from the same shop. So these gnomes, I think, are available through Trinity Stamps if you want a gnome stamp. I'm not a huge fan of gnomes, but their gnomes are so stinking cute. So I'm going to actually have a brand new color list later in the video. So I'm using some of the same colors, but also some new colors. So coloring the little chick, who is so cute. And Rob's like, is that just a hair stamp? I'm like, no, it's a gnome. So it's hard to see until you color them, but they're so cute. And I love the little kind of rabbit ear hat. My favorite things just came out with a spring gnome set, and I feel like it came out a little too late. I'm doing this voiceover on the 16th, and it's like 2 weeks till Easter. Maybe it's a little bit longer. And by the time people get their stamps, that's why I don't understand companies. I mean, maybe not everybody stamps ahead, but I do. And I want everything about a month ahead. So I decided that this little gnome needed to be a ginger. I don't know why gnomes make me think of Vikings, but they do. So I decided they needed to be a ginger. So I am pulling in some browns, E19, E08, and YR27. And again, if you're someone who has Copics and you don't have the hex chart from Sandy Allnock, I encourage you to get it. I think it's $5. You can print it as many times as you want to. I actually printed it on the Copic paper that I used to color. And what it does is it gives you colors that are beside each other. That way you can blend colors. Like, you know, instead of just being in all E's, I was able to bring in the YR27 for this redhead because of the hex chart. And it's 100% because of the hex chart. So I just did a bunch of flicking. Again, when you want to mimic hair strokes, you want to just flick. And that's by keeping the tip of your nib on the paper, and then you just flick. And then to go with the lightest color, I just kind of colored in, and I made sure to make it a bit darker where the chick is setting. And it took me a minute to realize that those are fingers that the chick under the chick. So yeah, that's a very long beard for this cute little gnome. And I don't know why, maybe because I was a redhead when I was a baby, but I'm really drawn to, like I said, I don't know if it's because they remind me of Vikings. I don't know why they would remind me of Vikings, but and you see a lot of them gray, and I'm like, I don't want an older gnome. I want, like, you know, a young gnome. I don't know why I think of these things when I color. I just do. I got out of the lines a little bit, so I brought in a white gel pen. I really could have skipped this part and just used my blender pen, because initially I was going to keep the white border, but I changed my mind later in the video. So I had a hard time picking colors for the eggs when we get there. I'm using some worn browns for the boot. Wait, are these toners? Not browns. Toner grays. Again, I will have a new list. Here we go. I'm starting the new list. Here's me starting the new, yes, yeah. So I used some toner grays for the shoes, and I just did some really simple blending. And yeah, kept the heel the darkest, made the kind of line around it dark, and just really simple coloring. I mean, the boots aren't the focus. It's mostly the beard and the chick that are the focus. So I decided on hot pink and then lighter pink for the ears. And again, this is probably one of my most favorite color combinations. I'm doing 2 and 10 on the inside of the ears. That's kind of the lighter of the 2 pinks. And then the 9, 6, and 4 are the others. So the 9 is the darkest, and you can see me adding that at the bottom, anywhere that there's a fold, and then coming up from the face. And you guys know I like to color darkest to lightest. A lot of people color lightest to darkest. It's really up to you and how it feels when you blend. I like to do darkest to lightest and then come back lightest to darkest sometimes. But again, it just really depends on my blend and if I want more highlight or if I want more shadow. So that's really what you're doing. Your darkest color is providing your depth or your shadows. Your lightest color is providing the highlight. So if you think of it that way, it's a little bit easier to decide where you want your lightest color. And also, you know, I try not to do a whole lot of directional lighting or whatever. I just like the color. But with this gnome, he's sitting down, you know, there's probably a light source overhead, the sun maybe. So everything that's at the very top of him would be the lightest, and then it would get darker as it went further away. But like I said, I don't always stick to where a light source is coming. If you guys remember the bunny card I did this past summer, where they were on the clouds in the sky, that one was more about, okay, where's the moon reflecting on these babies, and let me add you know, the moonlight to them. So there are times when I will do that, but for something like this where I'm not creating a huge scene, it's just an image that's going on the card, this works well enough for me. Brought in a little bit of pink for the gnome's cheeks, and then I'm going back over it with the lightest brown. And again, I'm using the colorless blender to clean up some of the white around the image, because I have a hard time staying in the lines sometimes. It happens. And then I used a little bit of it on his nose to lighten it up. Like I said, this isn't actually blending anything. It's pushing the color further into the paper, and that's what makes it lighten up. At least that's what I've been taught. I could be wrong. So for the egg, I wanted a lighter green, but since I'd already colored it a dark green, I decided to do a gradient. So I do a dark, a medium, then a light. I shouldn't say I love it now, but I used to love dyeing Easter eggs. Wasn't it not the funnest? It was messy, but it was always fun. And I loved hunting for eggs. I remember one year for church, I got a prize egg. It had $20 in it. I mean, it's like 8 or 9. $20 is a lot of money to an 8 or 9-year-old. $20 is a lot of money to this 43-year-old too. Well, almost 43. I'll be 43 at the end of April. My only complaint with Copics is the purple selection. I just feel like there's not enough purples. And that's my one complaint. Can someone write them and tell them to get on it? Because I need more purples. More purple. It's like more cowbell. So I kept to the colors in the paper. There is a lighter and a darker purple in the paper, especially the gingham that I use. There's 2 different tones of purple. And again, this paper is from Doodlebug. A little bit of it is from this season and a little bit of it is from last season. So as I've mentioned in the past, Doodlebug has a tendency to use the same kind of patterns, just in different colors. Last year, the gingham was purple. This year, I believe the gingham is pink. A couple of years ago, the gingham was like aqua. So, and they keep kind of the same color palette. So all of them work really well together. So if you still have, you know, paper from a few years ago, you can 100% use them together. So your question of the day is, do you like gnomes? Gnome stamps specifically. Do you have them? Do you like them? Are you not on board? Let me know in the comments down below. The winner will win this card. So yeah, and I will announce those winners probably the first week of April. So you have a little bit to leave your comment. Don't forget, almost every video will have a question of the day, but not every question will go to a giveaway. I try to do it randomly unless you hear me say this is the prize. Don't forget to make sure you head over to my Facebook page and my Facebook group that are linked down below. Getting really close to 500 members in my Facebook group, and we will be doing a giveaway over there. I'm also considering starting memberships here on YouTube. So how that works is there's a join button. You pay a certain amount every month and you get perks. My perks would probably be an extra video, like an exclusive video, maybe an exclusive project. If I can ever get set up to do a live stream, you know, there would be a members only live stream. It would be $3, $4, $5 a month. Kind of like Patreon, but over on YouTube rather than you having to find a new platform. So you guys just let me know down below. I'm also going to be working on some classes, so if you're interested in that. And I'm also working on getting a new blog. But after I get this action wobble on this little guy, I'm going to go ahead and get him adhered, add some shimmer. I used some colored rhinestone on the egg to give it a little bit of dimension rather than using the drops. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to leave your comment so you'll be entered in a chance to win this card. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.